I've chosen, I think I'm going to use this agate, moss, and fire opal for different parts of the butterfly. I like these rubber stylus brushes. Got some paper towel and some water. This paint does not thin with water. So to actually thin it, this one's plugged up, you will need to use some glaze if you want a more transparent coating. And the holes on these, you want to shake it up really well. And the holes are sometimes clogged. And you don't need very much, just a little bit on your plastic. You can always add more because it does dry quickly. Okay, and this is just like a little dressmaker's pin here that I can use to open up the end on that other one. So just a little bit of green. And this is like a cream color, which I like on brass. So just using a pin here to open it up. And I thought maybe we would make the body part of him. I've already got paint on it, but no worries. You can paint over it even if you can't get it off. So I'm going to use this rubber brush to brush it here, the green here on his body, and clean that off real quick. And you do want to get all the water out because, like I said, it doesn't mix with water, and it actually makes it difficult to apply the paint. So I'm going to use a little bit of this yellow, and I'm not worrying too much about where I'm putting it because I'm going to buff it off in a minute. Let's touch that up a little bit. There we go. And on the this one I'm putting the paint in specific areas. On the next one I'm going to kind of purposely let it run everywhere. So put some of this pink out here on the wings. Let's get a little bit more there. I'm just kind of using that rubber to, actually does a better job than a brush at adding the paints. I'm sorry. It's okay. All right, so I'm going to set him aside to dry for a minute here. And while that's drying, let's put a little bit of color on our leaf. And I've got some malachite here. Probably will use a little bit of that moss green too. Whoops, well, that came out too fast. I'm gonna have to paint something else with it. And this is turquoise. Okay, so I think I'm gonna run this moss green kind of here down the center, and I'm not gonna bother cleaning out my brush before I put on some malachite, because I'm gonna let them kind of run together here so the colors mix up. I'm gonna dry that off though, so it's not so much green, because I am getting more green than I want. I think this one was not mixed up well enough because I feel like all I have is blue water. I'm going to take my paper towel here and dab a little bit of that darker malachite off, since it kind of overwhelmed everything. Put some of this turquoise on out here on the edges. And let that dry. There we go. And I'm just wiping it off and not even drying. I'm going to go back with a little bit more moss here in the center. Okay, let's let those dry. And as far as the earrings go, I think I'm going to use the butterfly color scheme for these. Now I have some smaller, that did not help, did it? I have some smaller silicone styluses that you can use for these smaller parts. And let's do some pink right here in the center. There we go. And maybe also add that pink right here. Don't know if you can see. So I'm just kind of following the design and painting in that indent here. And there we go. I'm not doing a very good job of picking up the paint. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to buff it off. And anywhere where it kind of has gone outside the lines, you'll see how it's not going to really show. And I can tell this pink is already getting thicker and drying than it was when I put it down. Okay. Wipe this off and let's put that pale yellow. All right, and then, yeah, maybe I will just put a little bit of green here around the outside edge. This does wash off your hands. And I've got it everywhere, so hopefully this will encourage you. You don't have to be perfect. All right. All right. So a little more here. There we go. I think that's probably enough. Okay, we got it. So, letting those dry. Let's check Mr. Butterfly here. And it is dry. See how quick these dry out, which is kind of why you have to move when you get your paint out, and just put out enough for the things you have right in front of you. So I'm going to take this nail file, and I am going to hit just the top raised area on this pendant. See how that's removing the paint from the areas that are raised in the design. And you can kind of take off as much as you want, but I'm trying not to push it down in and dig. I'm trying to just go across the surface so that I leave the color in the cracks. Okay. Okay. So I think that's good. If you wanted to touch something up, you could, but I'm pretty happy with that. I want to get the pink off of this top ridge here on both sides, and I've got it cleared off the bottom and the edges. I still have quite a bit here right in the center where I did that yellow, so I'm gonna kind of concentrate on this spot right here next to the body to clean that off just a little bit more so I can see the ridges here in this design. There we go. So there's our dragonfly, or not dragonfly. I think it says it's a butterfly. It looks a little bit more like a moth to me, but all right. And for this one, I thought I've got some of these twisted rings, and I have the Swarovski crystal here that has a top drill hole. And this prong setting, it's this vintage kind of bale with prongs on it. I think we can pinch in across the top. Yep, we can. So I'm lining these prongs up with the holes here at the top of the crystal. You poke it in one side, and then you want to squeeze it together with your fingers. If you use the pliers, you probably crack the stone. There we go. So now I have something on there to hang it from. And let me get a pair of chain nose pliers. Open the ring here. And close it up, push it together So we can hang it off of a cord or a chain. And then this, I think I'm going to put on the opposite corner to let it dangle there. I've got a smaller jump ring here. I'm going to open to one side, and whoops, it's going to be hanging this way. So I want the crystal to drop from this side. So let me add that in there and close it back. I should be using 2 pairs of pliers, setting a bad example. And there is my dragonfly pendant. I'll grab a chain or something to put it on here in a minute. So ends are equal there. You find where I closed it, which is a little tough to see. And I'm going to put it on the center of the chain. And as I should have been using, use a second tool to push it back past close and then bring it forward and let it rub together. Okay, there we go. So next here, this had a lot of paint on it, actually, and it's dry. So it's really pretty the way it is. Really not much of a reason to buff it. I kind of want to just leave it like this, but just to show you, I might just hit just a few areas. See how I slid my emery board across it? How you've got some of that brighter gold coming through to reveal a little bit of the vein. Maybe I'll just buff a bit off the top and maybe here down here on the point to show a little bit of that there. I think that's really pretty. And we also have these little 99-cent bench pails, which is another option. Maybe I'll put this one on. This could go on a cord or a chain. So I'm going to open up that pincher and put it right through the hole in the top of the leaf. And I pushed it back together and let it overlap a bit side to sides. See how there's a point on this side and then a point on this side. So it's overlapped, and that pendant can't fall out of there. If you had, some crystals or some things on head pins, you could always add a jump ring underneath here first and let those dangle down the front. But that is nice, just like it is. So, and these are actually, the green one has a little bit of wetness, but these are already dry. And the earrings are ready. Now these, I think I'm gonna, because I did kind of go everywhere with the paint, whoops, we're gonna buff these pretty well to let that gold raised design shine through. See how that's cleaning up my messy painting by taking it off of the surface rather. Here we go. And there we go. There we go. So there's one of the earrings. Okay. All right, I have these 2 earring pieces buffed off. I like the look of them. They look real vintage. and they go nicely with my butterfly. So I'm going to grab a pair of ear wires and show you how to attach those. I'm going to take the chain nose pliers and lift it to the side, and can add those directly on. I think I'm going to do something a little different than this though. Those are perfect, but if you wanted them a little bit longer, got a couple of larger jump rings here. And an easy way just to give them, you know, just a little more style is to have a couple jump rings here. A small one to go this way through the hole, and then the large ones to kind of act as a focal point, and then we'll hook this on. So I love these rings, but they're hard to find the hole. So I'm going to put the small one on first, and again close that by going past close and pushing them together. And then I'm going to take the large ring and add that and the ear wire, and then close that up there, and just gives you a little bit of a drop, just adds a little something to it other than just adding the ear wires. So the little one on here, and close it, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle to make sure it's shut. And then open the larger one, pass that through, and whoops, I had this open to add the earrings. So when you close these, see I've got the side of the ear wire only, and so to open, you pull to the side. To close, you just push it right back and make sure this touches right here. And the other pliers, and close this up. Oops. Make sure they line up without any opening. And there's our earrings. So there you go. Hope you're having fun at the make and take today. And this video will be on YouTube for your viewing pleasure. Thank you.